Myers, 35 years old, from Santa Cruz, California. Grew up here surfing in Santa Cruz from an early age. This has been my hometown for a long time. I left in my mid-20s and went and explored and got a job in the real world out there and gained a ton of valuable experience, but there came a time when I was ready to move back here and was able to launch my own business, Myers Surf Mentorship. I'm able to be a surf coach and surf mentor for not only youthful surfers but also professional athletes, and it's led me on this dream journey, and now I'm able to travel the world and support them in their dreams to reach their maximum potential as surfers and as human beings. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously coming in Santa Cruz, the ocean's a big part of our upbringing here, and I got into like the junior lifeguard program at a really young age, and that kind of led me to boogie boarding, and you see all the surfers out there, and gained a lot of interest there, and my dad kind of introduced me more around like the age of 9, and by the time I was 12, I was hooked, and I quit all other sports, and surfing was everything for me, so I'd be surfing, 2 times a day, every day, no matter what, and spend as much time in the ocean as possible. And the love and joy of surfing led to sponsorships and competition, and then meeting great friends, and then all of a sudden we were traveling around the world making surf movies and getting photos in the magazines and chasing the dream as a pro surfer after high school. So I took some time off from school and did that for a few years, and it was a ton of fun, and never made the big time, but was a regional professional and got to learn a ton and got to see amazing, beautiful places. For sure. So my love of surfing, I think, is just the connection with the ocean. You can't be really anywhere else when you're surfing. You're really focused on the present moment, especially when you're riding the wave. That you're definitely not thinking about anything else other than that exact wave that's in front of you. So it's a really special connection. You can wipe away all your worries, all your stress when you're out in the water, and just if you're ever having a bad day, or even if you're having a hangover or anything, you go out there in the water, and it just really is so refreshing, and I feel like it's a place to connect with nature, and it's my favorite place to be. Well, being a professional surfer is really tough, so I squeezed everything out of it that I could, but my sponsorships kind of ran dry, and I kind of had to look in the mirror and realize, I wasn't going to be a Kelly Slater, I wasn't going to be on the world tour. So it was kind of a good time to be like, okay, well, how can I take this passion and the skills that I've learned and transition it into a business role? And luckily Rip Curl was there, and I interviewed for a job opening, and I became the team manager. So that took me into a whole nother journey in the surf world, where I got to look after, surfers, and I got to be their sponsor and help them, pursue their passions. Yeah, so I did the team and events management role at Rip Curl for 10 years, and it was a dream job. I got to run this incredible surf contest series called the Grom Search, supporting the youth for kids 16 and under from all over North America. And we did events all over the world: in Indonesia, Brazil, Costa Rica, Hawaii. And then after 10 years of that, it was just, it was time to be like, how can I develop this into my own further develop it into my own personal passion, which was, working directly with surfers and supporting them one-on-one. At Rip Curl I was managing 40 surfers, all ages, but here with Myers Surf Mentorship I'm working with about 5 to 10, and it's a much more close personal level where we can really break through some barriers and dig a little bit deeper in their pursuit of a professional surfing career. Yeah, so I think what I offer that's unique is just I've kind of embraced every single role you can in the surf world, as far as being a professional surfer myself, being on the sponsorship side of things, working in marketing. I've ran surfing events, I've been an announcer and a commentator at surfing events, and I've just been so immersed in that whole culture for such a long time. So beyond being just a surf coach, I feel like I'm more of like a surf mentor, where I can help my clients and these surfers, these athletes I'm working with, I help on all aspects of their surf careers and journeys, where I could provide them advice, really with anything. And I think my main goal is really to support them, whether they're winning or losing, is just helping them be the best persons they can be. Be the best and get the best out of it, and be learning from every situation and growing, and and hopefully they'll take that and they'll pass that on to their friends or younger kids in their neighborhoods, and just that kind of stoke and positivity and that type of outlook will just keep getting passed on. And I don't know, I just feel like that's my way of kind of giving back to society and helping everybody, because that's kind of my key purpose. I just love being able to travel the world with my team and watching them succeed and seeing the stoke on their face when they have, you know, event victories. Like I got to go to France last year and I worked with Brisa Hennessy and she won a major event. It was the biggest career win of her life, and we were, you know, hand in hand throughout that entire week. It was really challenging, and a few months before that she was really at her lowest point in her career and was dealing with a lot of tears, and she was crying after a big loss down at the US Open in Huntington, and she seemed like nothing was going right. And you know, we spent a lot of time together discussing it, and just she's still so young, and it was just about continuing to fight and continuing to believe and continuing to work hard and finding that belief in herself, and that's what we did, and the breakthroughs came, and then, you know, right now she's number 3 in the world on the global ranking. So it's just amazing to see how people can come from like those low valleys where everything seems like it's not working, and they fight through that and they persevere. Then eventually, I think if you stay motivated and positive and really find that belief in yourself and keep digging deep, I think you can overcome it and end up on the other side. Yeah, I think my biggest tip that I've told everyone is just to do it because you genuinely love it, not because you feel like you're supposed to do it or your mom or dad are telling you to do it. I think if you have that deep, pure love and joy for it, that's when you're going to succeed. Because that's why we all get into these sports in the first place, is because we really love it, right? And yeah, maybe competition is not for everyone, but if that's your true desire, yeah, I'd say just, you know, keep fighting hard and keep grinding away. And what I noticed is, like, I had a really hard amateur career. I didn't have a lot of event wins and stuff like that, but like I persevered and I was so dedicated. By the time I hit my late teens and early 20s, then the wins started coming, and the guys that used to always beat me, they fell kind of flat, and then they ended up quitting because they just didn't have the long-term, I think, passion behind it. So if that's something within yourself, I think if you keep striving for it, it'll come. Well, I just think as an athlete or a surfer, like, it's really important what you put in your body. It's funny, I do these goal setting objectives with my clients every year, and a big part of it, they talk about their diet, especially some of these young men, like these young 20-year-old guys, because they're just past that point. You know, they're going into their professional surfing careers, but they all have super sweet tooths and kind of have poor diets, but they realize, like, if they want to be a professional athlete, they're gonna have to clean that up. So without me telling them, they're the ones who are writing these goals down on their list, and they want to really cut back on, you know, their sugar intake, and they want to be putting, you know, healthy items in their body, because they know it's going to translate into their performances. So I just think it's really cool to have a really healthy, like, protein bar that you can have down at the beach when you're down there competing on these long days. Because sometimes on, like, a finals day, you're going to be surfing 3 or 4 times, and it's exhausting. And surfers generally aren't eating large meals on those days. You know, they're eating, you know, only a little bit at a time, whether it's a banana or a healthy bar. And I just think it's amazing to have Vexa bars available. I have them all in my backpack, or I have, like, my camera and all my coaching gear. And I know, like, Nolan will be coming in from his heat, or just recently Alyssa and Tia, and they're like, Matt, can I have one? And I'll supply it for them, and, you know, then they're going right back out in the water. So I think it's just great to have that support from Vexa bar.